Hi everyone, it's Marcia from Shakti Soul Coach. And so we are here today to do a little reading on the Pisces full moon 2021 and the fall equinox slash spring equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere that will be happening 2 days later. Today is September 19th. It's Sunday. It's about, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Kind of lost track of time right now. But I'm indoors because just like, the equinox, we're given bright sunlight and then it's like dark and pouring. So we've got the balance today here going on. But anyway, I'm excited because I splurged yesterday and I found a cute little metaphysical store here. And I bought 3 new decks. So we're going to, and I was meditating and it came through about the video today. It's like, oh, you can use 2 of the decks. They're perfect for the equinox. So we'll be using those. So the full moon in Pisces is Monday, September 20th at 7:55 p.m. or 19:55 p.m. And that's Eastern Daylight Time in the Americas, and then subtracting 3 hours for those on the Pacific coast of the Americas. And then I believe in Europe it'll be like just after, in like the UK, it'll be just after midnight, and then earlier on in the morning for those in Europe and beyond. So anyway, blessed full moon in Pisces. This is kind of an intense time, especially we have these 2 energies converging because the full moon always has a plus or minus effect. So the full moon in and of itself will be affecting the equinox, which is Wednesday, September 22nd. And I love the fact that it's actually on the 22nd. That doesn't happen very often. Usually it's the 20th or the 21st. So we've got that master builder number there too. So first and foremost, we'll be using overall for the Pisces full moon message, we're going to be in a lot of Avalon energy today. So we're using the Wisdom of Avalon deck by Colette Baron Reed. It's illustrated by Gary A. Lippincott. And so our message for the Pisces full moon is, let's see, what is our message today for the Pisces full moon? What's our message today? Oops, that looks like that one wants to come out. Oh, interesting. Okay. And then I'm going to pull one. So we've got one. So it's the communication card. So communication is key. And I have to see what the number is on this card. It's 41. So that comes down to a 5. What is this? It's the 5 year, 5 of the throat chakra. 5 is the number of the throat chakra, the number of communication, the number of truth. So this Pisces full moon, Pisces has this, it being the last sign of the zodiac. And by the way, the full moon is in the last degree of Pisces. So it's not only the last degree of the sign of Pisces, it's the last degree of the sign of the zodiac. So this is going to bring up very much a completion energy for those of us who are sensitive to it. And for those of us who really relate, you might feel it more if you're a Pisces sun like me, or a Pisces ascendant, or a Pisces moon in particular. But everybody is Pisces in their chart, so we're all affected by this. And since it is the last sign of the zodiac, it can be about bliss, ecstasy, universal, unconditional love. It rules yoga, spirituality, religion, the belief in a source of all, right? And at the lower vibration, it rules the denial, deceit, victimhood, substance abuse. Also, too, it rules the media because it rules illusion. So especially rules film. Okay? So in the communication, now we know that using the medium of film and of media itself is part of a message that's being communicated across all of the globe. And so this is asking us to really back off and tune into our inner guidance, our inner media, into our divine connection, connecting. There's a lot of crown chakra energy and sixth chakra, but especially crown chakra energy that goes with this Pisces full moon. And I'm just feeling, I'm going to pull another card from this Avalon deck. And so the Avalon deck, what else do we need to know or know about this Pisces full moon here that's happening tomorrow? Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. Restrictions, 35, 8. 8 is the number of the world. It's also the number of the divine feminine and of the goddess. It also has to do with power, acknowledgement, accomplishments, restrictions. And let's face it, there may be, and because of the dynamic of this full moon, we have the opportunity to be in our higher selves. And no matter what may come across, other outlets that are talking about this, that, and another thing, we have the opportunity to truly be in our own guidance and to do discernment. Communication, this 41 card, 5 is the number of truth. So discerning what we may be hearing. There may be new restrictions that will be across the globe, that or across your country or across your neighborhood, that may be announced. And the 29th degree of the zodiac is the last degree, so it's bringing up sometimes the most challenging aspects. And this in Pisces is asking us, are you going to go into victimhood? Are you going to go into denial? Are you going to go into deceiving yourself? Or are you going to be like, okay, this is what is being covered over here in the 3D realm, but I am a sovereign 5D plus reality human, and I'm going to be up here. And I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing. I'm talking about being in the world, but not of it. So yes, let's all be in the world, but at the same time, we can still be our sovereign selves in our own truth. So it'll be a curious dynamic. And also too, I know I've said this in a number of videos, everything's an inside job. So we start maintaining that ability to be in union with our higher selves, to be in communication with divine guidance that loves us unconditionally. And what we are doing is we are setting the stage of creating this magnetic web across the planet, of affecting the planet, so the planet is raised up too. So the frequency is raised up of the planet. We're raising the vibration, we're raising our vibration, and thus we raise the vibration of the planet. And so this may never even come to pass then. Or if it does, might come and then may go. So this is truly asking us to be a strong, be a strong little fish. Be a strong fish, be in the flow, because Pisces is all about flow. It's the wateriest of the water signs. And Pisces is the extremes, the glyph is like one fish swimming upstream and one swimming downstream, right? Or that way. And so it's like, okay, how do we meet all of these energies in the middle? And what's so interesting about meeting all these energies in the middle is that's what the equinox is about. It's about balance. So I have 3 decks for the equinox. And so I feel like we're going to head more into more detail. So the 20th and the 21st could be a little like hairy. Whatever may be coming out across the globe. We may begin to see some reversals of that, or we may be just being able to be in our place of being strong and sovereign. And that will take us into the 22nd. Now, the 22nd, that 22 is a master builder number. And as we all know, 9 is the number of completion. So we are at this place where, yes, we have set the foundation of who we are here to be, and in communication, whether we know it or not, of those who are on a similar mission across the globe and across this planet, and also on the mission with the divine guidance that loves us unconditionally. And so here we are, we're bringing this all together at this equinox now. And I thought, when I pulled these cards, I thought like, oh, maybe the message is going to be about, sacred union, because on my little shopping spree yesterday, and these are the new ones. So we will be using these 3 new decks. And one is, we're going to continue with the Avalon theme. So the Mists of Avalon Oracle by Rose and Sarah. And it is illustrated by Nadia Turner. And then we're with this, she's upside down. With this balance theme of equal day and equal night of the equinox, we are using the Gods, the Gods and Titans by Stacy DeMarco, illustrated by Gary Manton. And for those of you who have Alana Fairchild's Kali deck and Isis deck, it's the same illustrator. So it's kind of cool to have a divine masculine deck, actually illustrated by a man. Yay. And then we are using the Sacred Mothers and Goddesses deck by Claudia Olivos. And she's also the illustrator. This is all her, all her artwork. Okay, so the Sacred Mothers and Goddesses definitely want to be known and heard, don't they? Flying out of my hand like that. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. Whoa. Okay, so on the heels, we're going to use the Avalon deck, the Mists of Avalon deck, as a bridge to the Oracle of Avalon. So what is the message regarding a bridge between the full moon and Pisces? Okay, here we go. So, Igraine. So, Igraine is the mother of King Arthur. Okay, she's also the mother of Morgan Le Fay. So 21, this is a 3 card. And at the top it says motherhood, at the bottom it says feminine power, and then it says beauty and acceptance. Also too, look at, she's at this place of being there with that beautiful gray dog. And she's got the cup over here. See the cup? We've got the cup over here, the chalice. And so that's a reminder of the divine feminine. Also, look at all the water in the background. So this is the flow of the Pisces full moon energy hitting the land, which will lead us into the equinox energy. And so with Igraine is a reminder of we are here to birth, something new. And part of that birth, because she birthed Arthur, she birthed Morgaine. And so part of that birthing energy is we have possible events at the Pisces full moon, right? Starting Monday. And so what are we going to birth from this? Maybe we will birth within ourselves this new way of being, right? And so the other part, I'm going to ask, okay, this is all about birthing. What are we birthing? Let's see what card we get. So with the Mists of Avalon, what card are we birthing? What are we birthing here? Give me a little clarity here. Remember I pointed the chalice out. The Holy Grail. Hey, that kind of says it all. This is what we're birthing. We're birthing that Holy Grail within us. Life force, wisdom, regeneration, and spirit. That is what we are birthing. That is amazing. Look at the light that is coming out of that cup. And interestingly enough, look at these 2 cards. Igraine is the card 21, and the Holy Grail is 12. These are the 3 cards. So this is really important because we do in this equinox energy have the divine masculine, divine feminine. We have light and we have night. We have, the moon, and we have the sun, and we have lightness and darkness. And so in these what look to be opposing polar opposite energies, they can come together and they can still create, especially with the divine masculine, divine feminine energies. And so what we are being asked to do in this equinox energy is to focus on a new creation of life force at a higher level of vibration for ourselves. That is what the gift of the equinox is. That is what the gift of the Pisces full moon is. It's like, okay, is it devotion or drama? And sometimes we like a little bit of both, right? But are we going to be in devotion, or are we going to be in drama? And so ultimately, what it will do for ourselves, if to be in a place of devotion, will certainly be more helpful in the long run. And then we'll be, because that's what's going to propel this planet forward. That's where we're really going to be able to, to really come into our full 5th dimensional plus reality. And I keep on being interesting. I'm reminded, if you know the mythology of Igraine. Igraine conceives Arthur because she's deceived by Uther Pendragon. He has magically cloaked himself to look like her husband. So she thinks that she's actually making love to her husband and not Uther Pendragon. So that is, that's deception. And so that's tying in with that full moon energy coming towards the equinox. However, the outcome benefited the all. The outcome benefited humanity. And so, one of Arthur's big goals, if you will, was to bring peace to the land. And certainly we can do with a little bit of that right now in our world. However, it was not done without a battle. And this also is like, okay, instead of we can go into our sacred warrior mode. So, having those strong boundaries, protecting the innocent, having the ability to say no. That's not to say that deception is a good tool to create a good outcome. However, it did work in this case. And if there is deception that's coming out of this full moon energy across our planet, that'll be publicized, I'm really psyched because this is a great message, because this actually shows that whatever happens, it's leading towards, the life force. It's leading towards regeneration. It's leading towards the Holy Grail. It's leading, look at this, a cup in the night filled with light. So it's this balance of the darkness and the light. And the light is what's moving forward. And that's not to say that darkness is bad. It's just that the light here is actually feeding the night sky. And so, and then the starlight is feeding back down, and the moonlight's feeding back down. So there is unison between the two. And so we have the ability also to, Igraine didn't end up being a victim of those circumstances. And we said earlier, Pisces full moon rules victimhood. And so we can choose to be a victim, which is an old 3D paradigm, or we can choose to be a sovereign being doing our healing work and being able to stand strong and reclaim our power if we have to acknowledge, yes, that this happened, that happened, and yet at the same time not condoning it, but saying I can rise above it because I am that strong and I am that courageous. Okay. And now, I'm just curious, now we're going to pull the divine masculine and divine feminine. And it's funny, it's like, which one wants to come forward? I think the divine masculine wants to come forward first. Okay, in that equinox, full moon, or equinox, yeah, it is. It's equinox and the full moon, new moon energy. Or, excuse me, full moon in Pisces, equinox energy. Okay. So what is the message of the excess of balance of the divine? And you all saw that fly out of the deck. Oh, wow. Ooh, Kronos. Wow. Love him. And this is shape-shifting. Okay, interesting, because he is also a Celtic, he's a Celtic god, and here we're using all the Avalon decks. So, and there's all kinds of like Greek and, Greek and African and all kinds of different gods in here. Lu, he's actually Ganesha, Anubis, so lots of different traditions, but we are still kind of sticking with this Celtic theme here. Okay, shape-shifting. What he's bringing to the forefront is that we can shape-shift into, well, this is shamanic. Oh, wow, look at the snake. Okay, so the snake is transmutation. The snake is shedding its skin. We are in a place where we are able, also too, the snake prior to the last, like at least 2,000 years, closer to prior to the last 5,000 years, the snake was associated with the divine feminine, and it's associated, the serpent energy is the energy of the Kundalini rising. And so this is where we are able to shapeshift out of our 3D reality into a 5D reality. Kronos also too is the twin flame of Bridget, and she is the amazing Celtic goddess whose shrine, the temple, is at Kildare to this day in Ireland. And so she's a fiery protective force also. And so between the two of them, I feel like they are partnering up and like, oh yeah, like I'm getting so hot talking about this. So the two of them are definitely firing up to be able to bring protection to the planet and to also plant the seeds of fertility that will come to the forefront, I'm getting next February in particular. The shape-shifting ability of Kronos also too is he's usually known as the stag. And so the stag is a very strong, grounded animal, known for its speed and its ability to really, to move, right? To really move and run and be in its power. And so we're being asked through this to also be in our own power. And so how do we need to shapeshift in our own lives? And what I mean by that is some of you, it actually means working, you may be seeing animal guides coming to you, looking around and seeing what animals are in your midst. When I go on my walks, I can see, like last night I was driving home and there was a hawk that just flew right in front of my windshield, okay? Or sometimes you see rabbits, or sometimes I always see ducks, or I see flamingos, There's all kinds of stuff, and we always have lizards around here. And so whatever, but if there's something that really is special, that's sticking out in particular, take that in. I feel that we're going to be working a lot with this energy. Also, too, this is the green. So there's the green, it's working both ways because, for those of you in the southern hemisphere, that green is you're going into your springtime. So things are going to begin to blossom and bloom. And that's the regeneration of this chalice in particular. New life force being renewed. Also, too, what else did it say? And the wisdom, I love that. The wisdom of spirit coming through. So that's a part of what's going on in the southern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere, we are in the period of green. We've been in the period of green all summer long, and our summer's coming to a close. And so as we begin to wind down, even here in Florida, you know, we get a little bit of like the leaves do come off the trees. They don't really turn. We don't get like a big fall foliage kind of moment here. But there is a slowing down of the seasons in the northern hemisphere. And so you see around us that the world around us is shape-shifting from one season to another. And that's to be respected and to be honored. And I'm feeling if you wanted to do a little ceremony or just send a prayer out, you know, or pull an oracle card, whatever it is, go take a yoga class, whatever it is on the 22nd, that we're coming to a time of completion so that we can begin this master building towards the Holy Grail. Okay, and then last but not least is the Divine Feminine. And so what is she bringing to the forefront? And also, too, I feel like this card is one about, like, knowing, what are we to know or do in conjunction with the Divine Masculine, these two balancing energies. Whoa, okay, that's like half a deck here. So we're not going to use the half a deck. But, okay. Ah! I love it. Wow. Hathor, celebrate life. Wow. Okay. This is really beautiful because Hathor, you know, she is the one of the divine mothers of the Egyptian pantheon, and she actually rules pregnancy, and she rules, you know, she looks over pregnancy and motherhood and fertility, and she also has to do with sound healing. And she has to do with being like the mother to even like Isis, you know, bringing through the Rose lineage heritage so that she can really have a beautiful legacy that's carried on. And this is what Hathor is asking through the shape-shifting is, what is the legacy that we are here to build on this planet? What is the legacy that we are here to build on this planet? To our children, to our grandchildren, to our great-grandchildren. She also, you see on her head, she is wearing the solar disc with the horns of the cow. She is very typically portrayed with a cow face. And so the cow is a symbol of giving and receiving in abundance. And so in the especially when it comes to the Celtic lore. So I love that. The cow is not just about receiving, and it's not just about giving. It's about both to create abundance. And so this is what overall we are here at this equinox time to build. Is to build an abundant. And remember, we have all this green of Cernunnos, shifting out of lack, shifting out of poverty, shifting out. And that's just, I'm just talking about our minds. And believe me, my mind has been going there a lot, a lot the last year. And so I am certainly not exclusive to this. This message is for me first. And so, you know, we're shape-shifting our thoughts to create and celebrate life. And no matter where we are, we're all going into a holy day, holiday season. Here in the States, we really love Halloween. Halloween's October 31st. It's also a Celtic holy day called Samhain. And then across the you know, and then we head into Thanksgiving here in the States, and then across the world, we have Hanukkah, and we have, Christmas, and we have all these other, we have Yule, and we have Kwanzaa. We have all these other celebrations that end up in December, right around the solstice time, because it's the rebirthing of the sun, right? The sun comes back. And this is what we were talking about with the Igraine, right? The 21, these breaking down to 3. It goes back to this. The 3 and the 321, the 312. The birth of the holy divine child, the divine son that comes to us all. And that's S-U-N or S-O-N, however you want to, or child. However, in Igraine's case, it was an S-O-N, right? Through Arthur. And that's not to make Arthur a savior, because he was a human, and he certainly had plenty of faults and foibles like everyone else. But he was able to enact on his divine guidance and by wise counsel to be able to create peace. And we can do that within ourselves. And we can do that, and we end up celebrating life. And so with Hathor, she's here to remind us. Also, I did mention she's with sound healing. So, over this, especially the Equinox, if you want to even just throw on a little, go on Spotify and throw on a little crystal bowl music, or go on YouTube, grab a crystal bowl meditation, and you can listen to it for 2 minutes, something like that if you want to. But ultimately, she's here to tell us to celebrate life, that this is the life that the highest of guides, the highest of guidance, is here to love and protect from their side, so that we can love and protect it from our side. So in this Pisces full moon equinox energy, we are working with all the benevolent, unconditionally loving forces of the universe, the source of all that is creator creatrix, and our higher selves, and our fifth dimensional being, and our future lives, to come to this moment, to stay in a place of trust, because Pisces rules trust. Trust in that everything is in perfect and divine order. And man, when you see it around you, that's the last, at least when I see it around me, that's kind of like the last thought that I have. However, this is the highest vibration of Pisces. It's sometimes it's not so easy for us. Like, you do some pranayama, you feel blissful. The trust to me and the surrender is the real work. That's that 29 degrees of Pisces, the real work, and allowing the cycle to start all over again. So ultimately, we are all here to really bring together our own personal growth and journey, and our divine connection to our higher self, and to all the divine guidance that loves us unconditionally, and to then embody that, to be able to emanate that out into the world, across the planet. And I know it's trite, but what I'm hearing is, be the change you want to see in the world. Just what Gandhi said. I know we see that on like coffee mugs now, but that encapsulates everything here in a nutshell. So, have a beautiful, blessed Pisces full moon and a blessed equinox on the 22nd. And I will be back soon. Much love. Bye.